Here at this market in the northeastern German city of Schwerin, the SPD is trying to reach out to senior citizens. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern State Premier Erwin Sellering is listening closely to their needs and demands: higher pensions and more doctors. Regina Engling is retired and a grandmother. In the run-up to the election, politicians need to convince this older generation that their party is the one to vote for. The senior citizens say it will take more than campaign promises to win them over. Regina tells Sellering she's going to breakfast at a multi-generation center down the street. She implores him to make sure it stays open. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern lacks the funding to address the seniors' many needs sufficiently. The weekly meetings at the multi-generation center are an affordable opportunity for young and old to come together, and they're important for the growing number of seniors who live alone. They know they benefit from living in the state capital, Schwerin. Out in the countryside, the elderly are facing ever-increasing problems.
Once a week, a bus goes to Krivitz. Just once a week. There are no shops there. The doctor is in Krivitz, and so is the physiotherapist. But everything is closing down. So people living in really small villages really have it hard.
The problem extends to the sparsely populated northwestern part of the state. The local authorities have launched a new transport project. Senior citizens without cars can call a bus by telephone. It's cheaper than a regular bus network, but it still costs the state money. Many of the region's elderly want to remain independent. 86-year-old Karl Reiner says he couldn't manage without the bus.
Otherwise, I'd have to take a taxi, and that costs 3 or 4 times as much. I can't afford that. I wouldn't be able to get to the doctor or anywhere. I have to walk everywhere, and I can't manage that.
There's a long waiting list for homes for the elderly in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Soon, half the state's population will be over 60 years old. As life expectancies rise, politicians like SPD candidate Manuela Schwesig knows securing their votes is crucial to any campaign. How powerful are the senior citizens here?
They're taken seriously. They're very active in councils and advisory boards. It's important that seniors aren't just seen as people who need medicine and care. We have a lot of elderly here who are in good physical shape, have a lot of experience, and want to make a contribution. That's why we're the only other state, apart from Berlin, to have a law that enables senior citizens to have a say in things.
But despite that participation, the elderly voters know there are many problems to be resolved.
If they don't have any money, what can they do? It doesn't matter who we vote for, there's still no money.
Mecklenburg-Vorpommern was once the state with the youngest population in a reunified Germany. But then many young people went elsewhere in search of work. The effects of that exodus are still noticeable today. Experts predict that the whole of Germany will face problems caused by a rapidly aging population in the future.
We're experiencing major demographic change, but here in Mecklenburg it's changing in all the wrong ways. The young people are leaving, elderly people are moving here, birth rates are dropping, and life expectancy is increasing. This is more predominant here than anywhere else in Germany. So this state is an extreme example of demographic change.
Solutions cost money, and the state is struggling to find the funding. Mecklenburg CDU Interior Minister is trying to drive more business to the southern area of the state, but he knows listening to the elderly is increasingly important.
The elderly population is growing and has become an important voice. We have a responsibility in politics to not only focus on things like schools and kindergartens and education, but also to look at the facilities we provide for our seniors.
At the Multi-Generation Center in Schwerin, Regina Engling says it will take just that, several generations, to find sustainable solutions for Germany's seniors, not just one period of legislation.
Politicians are like pigeons. When they're on the ground and they want you to vote for them, they eat out of your hands. But when they've made it and fly above, well, you know what they do from above.
The senior citizens know that ensuring a good quality of life with decent pensions for future generations is a major challenge for policymakers. But they hope their growing power in politics will make sure the problems aren't forgotten.